A faint whimper threads through the golden savanna, almost lost among the rustle of the tall grasses swaying in the warm morning breeze. The sound draws the rescuer forward, careful and measured, each step bending into the earth without a sound. There, pressed low against the soil, a tiny lion cub lies still, its tawny fur blending with the sun-bleached stalks. The fragility of the creature strikes immediately. The slight curve of its body, the subtle quiver of its chest, the way its leg juts at an unnatural angle, all speak of vulnerability that only the young in this world can carry. The cub's eyes flutter briefly, a hesitant acknowledgement of life, before sinking once more into exhaustion. The rescuer kneels slowly, hands hovering for a moment above the soft fur, sensing the thin line between reassurance and threat. Every muscle, every twitch of the cub is read like a language. The tight curling of its paw, the faint tremor of its ears, the shallow, uncertain breath that rises and falls like fragile waves. In these quiet motions, there is a story of trust being weighed, measured in moments, fragile and tentative. "It's okay, girl," the rescuer murmurs softly, voice barely more than a shadow in the air. The cub's small head lifts slightly, just enough to meet those eyes with a confused, searching glance, before settling back into the comfort of the warm earth. Around them, the savanna stretches wide and indifferent, a tapestry of ochre and gold, dotted with acacia trees and the lazy drift of insects in sunlight. The heat shimmers faintly in the distance, a visual whisper that blurs horizon and sky. Birds call to one another, their song clear yet distant, offering no promise of comfort, only the rhythm of life continuing. The cub's shallow breaths mingle with these sounds, a quiet reminder of vulnerability amidst the vast openness. Its tiny paws press against the dirt, trembling with each conscious effort to shift, to test strength that should yet be abundant but is not. The rescuer's fingers trace gentle arcs along the cub's side, supporting without force, careful not to unbalance what little stability remains. The cub responds with small movements, a tentative stretch, a soft nuzzle against the human's touch, searching for warmth and security in the only way it knows. Eyes wide, pupils dark and round, it begins to recognize the difference between threat and care, the delicate assurance offered by a steady hand, a calm presence. Minutes stretch, measured in slow breaths and subtle motions, the world reducing to the silent communion of trust and fragility. The cub shifts once more, leaning on the rescuer, its weight light but profoundly demanding, and then lays back, still trembling but alive, each small sound a note in the quiet symphony of survival. Above, the sky turns a gentle, muted blue, a soft wind carrying the scent of grasses and distant earth. Life persists in its small, precarious way, delicate yet enduring, waiting for the patience and care that only presence can provide. The cub stirs again, its small body pressing into the earth, seeking the comfort of a mother that does not arrive. The wide savanna holds its silence, broken only by distant calls of other wildlife and the whisper of grasses swaying in the wind. The rescuer pauses, hands hovering uncertainly, aware of the fragile tension between intervention and respect for the natural order. Each breath of the cub is shallow, uneven, as if it carries not just the weight of its small body, but the uncertainty of a world without its parent close by. The rescuer studies the surrounding horizon, scanning for any sign of the pride, ears straining for the faintest echo of a call, but only the dry wind and distant birds answer. Fear rises subtly, not in panic but in careful calculation, each decision measured against the instinctual laws of survival that govern these lands. The cub's fragile leg shifts under its own weight, testing limits it is too young to understand. Its eyes blink up with brief confusion, a silent question posed without knowing the words. "You're almost there," the rescuer whispers, voice low and steady, a gentle thread that bridges caution with compassion. The cub leans into the faint warmth of the human's presence, trembling slightly, instinct battling the new trust offered. The sun stretches higher, casting long, swaying shadows across the golden plains. Every movement of the rescuer is deliberate, slow, knees bending carefully, hands tracing soft arcs along the cub's fur without grip, a dance of guidance rather than control. The decision to act is heavy. One wrong choice could disrupt instincts that the cub's life depends upon, yet inaction carries the quiet risk of abandonment. The wind brings the scent of distant prey and the faint musk of the pride's territory, a reminder of the larger network of life in which this small being must someday participate. Around them, the earth seems to breathe in subtle ways. Insects drifting through the heat, a lone hornbill landing momentarily on a far branch, the rustle of small mammals moving through the brush. The cub reacts instinctively to each sound, ears twitching, tail flicking, a body wired to respond even as it falters. Its small paws push against the soil, trembling with cautious effort, searching for purchase in a world that is vast and unyielding. The rescuer offers support without imposing, a hand placed under the cub's chest to steady a faltering rise, fingers brushing lightly over the spine, allowing guidance without direction. Time stretches, measured not by clocks but by the rhythm of breaths and careful motions. The cub leans further into the human presence, tentative yet persistent, seeking warmth and reassurance while maintaining the subtle balance of its natural instincts. The horizon shimmers under the sun, a reminder of the immense, indifferent world surrounding this fragile life, and the weight of responsibility that comes with both observation and care. In the quiet that lingers, a choice is made, not to replace but to sustain. The cub remains alive, trembling but resilient, each small motion a testament to the delicate interplay of instinct, trust, and careful human patience, waiting for the return of its world and the mother it may yet meet. The cub shifts again, this time with a sharp, instinctive yelp that pierces the otherwise still savanna. Its small leg, bent unnaturally, shows the first signs of swelling, a subtle but urgent signal that survival may demand action. The rescuer watches intently, noting the faint warmth and redness that mark an injury worsening under the sun's heat. Every careful step of the cub, every hesitant shift of weight, is measured in trembling movements and soft whimpers. The decision weighs heavily. To act is to intervene in the life of a wild creature, yet to wait is to risk a life snuffed out by a fragile injury. The man kneels close, hands extended but not yet touching, giving the cub space while still offering a reassuring presence. The cub leans slightly into him, eyes wide, pupils dark and questioning, a flicker of instinct meeting the unfamiliar calm of human care. Its body trembles, tiny claws pressing into the dirt as if to anchor itself to the earth, testing strength it does not fully possess. "It's okay," the rescuer whispers softly, voice threaded with quiet resolve, a promise without force. The cub flinches but remains near, the faint warmth of trust growing in increments measured by seconds. Around them, the savanna continues its indifferent rhythm. Grasses sway in the dry breeze, distant herds shift in lazy undulations across the horizon, and the soft hum of insects carries in the heat. Each element of the landscape reflects the vast, untamed world that surrounds this fragile life, a reminder of the delicate balance between nature's harshness and the careful hand now present. The injured leg twitches intermittently, a silent signal of pain, and the rescuer recognizes that observation alone is no longer enough. Intervention must be precise, measured, and gentle, respecting the instincts the cub will someday rely upon while preventing irreversible harm. The man's hands move slowly, feeling the delicate structure beneath the fur, probing for stability without pressure, offering support rather than command. The cub flinches at the initial touch, small body tensing, ears flattening slightly, yet it remains near, its head tilting in tentative trust. Eyes blink rapidly, reflecting confusion and a flicker of comprehension, a recognition that this presence may be different from the threat and distance it has known. Small movements follow. A tentative stretch, a careful repositioning, the cub testing what is safe while the rescuer adjusts in perfect synchrony, a quiet rhythm of patience and care. Time stretches, each passing moment a careful negotiation between life and the vast wild. Swelling slows, the leg stabilizes under gentle guidance, and the cub rests against the hand now supporting it, breathing shallower but steadier. The balance between human intervention and respect for instinct holds, fragile yet undeniable, a testament to careful observation, calm presence, and the quiet understanding that care in the wild must always be measured. The sun drifts higher, light falling across golden grasses, shadows shifting softly, and the cub lies close, trembling less, a small heartbeat of life protected in delicate equilibrium, waiting for the world to resume around it. A distant rustle ripples through the grasses, drawing every gaze outward, and the cub's head lifts sharply, ears twitching, eyes wide with sudden recognition. The mother emerges, moving with deliberate, fluid grace, her powerful body blending seamlessly into the ochre waves of the savanna. The rescuer holds still, heart tightening with quiet anticipation, aware that the fragile balance between human care and natural instinct is about to shift. The cub quivers, a mixture of relief and confusion in its tiny movements, and instinct drives it forward before the rescuer can even intervene. The mother pauses a few meters away, nostrils flaring as she takes in the sense of the human and the earth around her cub. Her gaze is keen, assessing not just the condition of her offspring but the intentions of the unusual presence nearby. The rescuer retreats slightly, voice soft and still, "It's all right, she's here." Even in words so minimal, the calm steadiness of tone seems to ripple through the scene, letting the natural drama unfold without interference. The cub moves hesitantly toward her, leg trembling, paw lifting and falling in careful steps, while the mother lowers herself slightly, tail flicking slowly in what could only be called recognition. The human observers are struck by the depth of intelligence and instinct in her movements. She approaches cautiously, circling, sniffing, and finally lowering herself fully beside the cub, nuzzling it with gentle pressure. The small body leans into her, and the swelling leg, previously tender under human guidance, receives the mother's natural attention, noses and tongues tracing carefully, inspecting, comforting, encouraging the cub to test its strength. The subtle cues, soft growls, the tilt of her head, the slow, deliberate blink of her eyes, convey knowledge passed across countless generations, a silent communication of care, caution, and teaching. The cub's tentative steps gain confidence under this guidance. Its movements are unsteady but purposeful, each shift reinforced by instinctual lessons rather than instruction. The mother's posture alternates between protective watchfulness and coaxing encouragement, a dance of natural care that astonishes in its clarity. Even the rescuer, who has been patient and calm, feels the gravity of witnessing a profound, unspoken intelligence at work, decisions made in seconds that reflect deep understanding of life, survival, and the fragile body now in her care. Around them, the savanna hums softly with the ordinary rhythm of existence. A breeze moving through the tall grasses, distant birds calling, insects drifting lazily in the sun. Yet in this quiet, the interaction between mother and cub holds a remarkable intensity, a testament to instinct and trust. Each movement, each careful nudge, each soft sound carries meaning, invisible yet unmistakable. The rescuer steps back fully now, hands lowered, breathing slow and deliberate, observing as the mother and cub begin a tentative walk together. The cub leans into her, small head pressed against her side, tentative yet assured, learning the rhythms of strength and balance inherent in her species. For a moment, the human presence is no longer needed. All that remains is a testament to the intelligence, patience, and enduring instincts that shape life on the savanna, visible in the quiet strength of a mother and her young. The cub moves more confidently now, tiny legs carrying it with growing assurance across the golden savanna. Each step is measured, yet increasingly unsteady only in the way of youth learning strength, guided by the subtle nudges and watchful gaze of its mother. Behind them, the pride stirs, alerted by distant calls and the soft vibrations of the earth beneath their paws. One by one, adults emerge from the tall grasses, their bodies blending with the warm hues of late afternoon, eyes bright with curiosity and recognition. The cub pauses for a moment, ears twitching before moving forward, tail raised slightly in cautious greeting. The mother lowers herself, a subtle signal of trust and safety, and the cub responds instantly, brushing against her side, seeking reassurance in the familiar strength of her presence. The pride circles, a gentle, purposeful choreography, sniffing, nudging, and acknowledging the cub's return. Each interaction is deliberate, free of drama, yet filled with layered meaning, the reinforcement of social bonds, the tacit recognition of vulnerability, and the quiet assertion of belonging. The young cub's small whimpers have vanished, replaced by tentative purrs and soft rubbing against siblings, a language of connection understood without words. The rescuer watches from a short distance, body still, breath slow, allowing the scene to unfold without interference. There is no triumph in his gaze, only a quiet, measured appreciation for what has occurred. The cub is no longer isolated, no longer reliant on human hands for survival. Instinct, experience, and the grace of the wild have reclaimed what belongs naturally to this life. He feels the weight of witnessing, of holding space for something profoundly alive, fragile, and resilient. There is no applause, no accolades, only the unspoken poetry of existence continuing its course. Golden sunlight drapes across the plains, filtering through the grasses and casting long, soft shadows. The cub tests its legs again, stepping closer to a sibling, and the mother watches with serene patience, body low and protective, eyes alert yet calm. The pride moves as a quiet unit, fluid and cohesive, each member aware of the others, each step reinforcing trust and security. The cub stumbles briefly, shakes off a loose clump of dirt, and then rises, stronger with every motion. The connection between mother, cub, and pride is seamless, an enduring testament to instinct and the intelligence embedded in generations. The rescuer steps back further, hands loose at his sides, heart steady with quiet reflection. He observes the final exchanges, the subtle head nudges, the gentle brushing of fur, the way the cub mirrors its mother's movements, and the collective harmony of the group. The wind carries the faint scent of earth and grass, drifting through the pride as they settle into a slow, purposeful rhythm. As the sun dips toward the horizon, painting the sky with soft amber and muted rose, the cub rests briefly against its mother, tail curling around her paw. In the distance, the pride begins to move as one, fading into the shimmering heat and grasses of the savanna. The rescuer exhales, a quiet witness to the resilience of life, and the unexpected grace of nature unfolds fully before him, leaving only the hush of wind and the soft echo of paws upon the earth.